All right, let's start with the big story that we are tracking at this hour on Wion, where this is the political rumble in the build-up to the elections in India. The Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh, which is the ideological parent of the ruling Bharatiya Janata Party, has escalated its pitch for the construction of the Ram Mandir in Ayodhya. The senior RSS functionary Bhayaji Joshi has actually dared to launch a 1992-style movement for the temple. Now, he was referring to the Advani Rath Yatra movement in the 1990s, which led to the demolition of the Babri Masjid. Now, addressing a press conference, Bhayaji Joshi said that the RSS is extremely disappointed by the Supreme Court's decision on the Ram Temple issue. Now, India's apex court, remember, has decided to push the hearing of the matter to next year, stating that the court also has other priorities. And this decision effectively means that there will be no verdict on the Ram Mandir issue before the 2019 general elections. Now, Bhayaji Joshi has also said that the courts must take the sentiments of the majority community into account. All right, now for more on this, we are joined in by our political editor Karthikeya Sharma, who is joining us from New Delhi. Now, good afternoon to you, Karthikeya. This is a statement that's been made by Bhayaji Joshi, a senior RSS functionary. Does it come as a surprise at all, considering the fact that there are elections due in at least 3 major states in India?
Absolutely. I would say 5 major states in India, because, 3 heartland states, which is Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh. You have 1 state in south, which is Telangana, and another Mizoram, which is part of the northeast. But I think more than that, the fact that RSS is now pressing for this issue and the fact that Bharatiya Janata Party has decided to support it just goes on to tell that the elections in 2019 for the ruling dispensation will not be fought on the issue of governance, will not be fought on the issue of delivery, will not be fought on the issue of what the Prime Minister has achieved. It means that they will be fought on the majoritarian sentiments, it will be fought on the Hindu sentiments, Ram Temple issue. So I think perhaps it will work like a dog whistle policy, where certain issues like governance might be discussed, but the polarizing issues will continue to gallop along with certain other economic issues which the government chooses to stick to them. But the surprising part is, Saleh, that the Ram Temple issue went out of the window.
Absolutely.
By 1998. 96 Congress lost the election, and between that United Front government was supported by Congress. And in 98 it was a fractured government, and Vajpayee's coming to power was not incumbent on Ram Temple issue. Vajpayee was coming to power because there was no leadership in the Congress party. That is why you had multiple slogans, one in Hindi which says that Apki Bari Atal Bihari. Now the choices with Vajpayee were being made. Right. It was not an issue in 2004, it was not an issue in 2009, and surprisingly it wasn't an issue in 2014 either. Ram Temple issue has metamorphosed into a larger national issue only after 2016, where BJP feels that the more it presses upon the issue, the more it creates a majoritarian consensus for them. But I think it's not an easy game, it's not a go game. I don't think that sudden polarization on an issue like this can take place.
Absolutely indeed, Karthikeya. Now, you've been following politics for a very long time now, so I want to ask you a 2-part question. Firstly, will the Ram Mandir issue again gain the same kind of traction which it did towards the late 80s and the early 90s? And secondly, this interest in the Ram Mandir issue on the part of the BJP and the other right-wing groups, is it essentially because the political narrative of the Modi government is appearing to be a little weak now?
See, not only political, I think the demonetization and GST has had a very strong impact on the Modi government. And see, Narendra Modi is trying to take up the issue of Ram Temple. One has to understand that the Ram Temple issue was actually taken up by L.K. Advani in 1987, what was called the Palampur session. Palampur is a place in Himachal Pradesh. It was called Palampur Adiveshan. When BJP was formed in 1980, you would be very surprised, Saleh. The Jan Sangh was dissolved. And BJP also incorporated Gandhinian socialism. Absolutely. So the Palampur Adiveshan was a departure from what BJP had been preaching for 7 years, because they only got 2 seats in 1984. So there is a consensus within Bharatiya Janata Party that their policies might be anything, but the electoral dividends only comes to them when there is a majoritarian, I would say, polarization for them, or there is a majority polarization. And I think even today, that view and that constituency within Bharatiya Janata Party has not vanished or weakened, it continued to believe. So, you know, it is something which was started by L.K. Advani, his Rath Yatra in famous. Modi wants to conclude it, but I think it's going to be a difficult affair because the matter is sub judice. A party cannot say at the same time that it's the matter is in the court, but it's also a matter of faith. You know, you can't say two things at the same time when judiciary has very clearly said it's a land dispute case.
Absolutely. I think you've summed it up very beautifully indeed, Karthikeya Sharma. Thank you very much indeed for joining us and getting us those inputs.